Got a stuffy nose? A tight chest? You know, if you've ever felt like you're fighting a war on two fronts against your own body, you are definitely not alone. But what if I told you you've been fighting the wrong war this whole time? Let's dive into something that could totally change the way you think about breathing.
So let's start with this. This is the question that's really shaking things up. What if that annoying, constant stuffy nose and that tightness in your chest, what if they aren't two separate issues at all? What if they're actually two sides of the very same coin? This is a huge shift in how we understand the simple act of breathing.
And that question leads us straight to this game-changing idea, the United Airway. Seriously, forget everything you thought you knew about your respiratory system being split into different parts. It's one single, interconnected superhighway. And that changes everything.
Okay, so what in the world is United Airway Disease? Well, think of it like this. Imagine a single fire spreading through a house. You might see the smoke up in the attic, that's kind of like your nose, and you feel the heat down in the basement, that's your lungs. But it's all coming from the same fire, right? That's what's going on in your body. It's one single inflammatory problem that's burning along your entire airway.
And this is the part where it all just clicks. You and I, we look in the mirror and we see a nose, and we know we have lungs. But your body, it doesn't see two separate things. It sees one seamless pathway. And the big takeaway here is that a problem in one part of that pathway, well, it can send shockwaves through the entire system.
But how? I mean, how are they so connected? Let's peel back the layers a bit and look at the pretty fascinating science that makes your nose and lungs act like a single, unified team.
It really boils down to three key things. First, your genes. If you're just genetically wired for inflammation, that's not going to be a problem in just one spot. It's going to be a system-wide issue. Second, the biology is pretty much identical. The exact same troublemaking inflammatory cells are found in your nose and in your lungs. And finally, and this is the big one, it's that continuous superhighway we talked about. The lining of your nose just flows seamlessly right down into your lungs, which creates a direct path for all that inflammation to travel.
Okay, so understanding the connection is one thing, but how does that actually help you breathe easier? This is where the science becomes a smarter, way more effective approach to treatment. It just makes sense, right? If it's one airway, you need one unified game plan to treat it.
This chart just perfectly sums up the whole revolution in treatment. The old way was like a game of whack-a-mole, you know? A spray for your nose here, an inhaler for your lungs there, never really getting ahead of the problem. But the new ARIA way, it's a holistic approach. It treats the entire system as one, which is obviously a much, much smarter strategy.
And look, this isn't just some fringe idea. This is the gold standard. ARIA, they're the global authority on this stuff. They've made it official. You can't treat your nose in isolation from your lungs. It's one system, and you've got to treat it that way.
So how does this actually work in the real world? Let's just walk through it. First, you see that inflammation, it's all over the airway. Then, a simple nasal spray is used right at the top in the nose. Now watch this. The inflammation in the nose starts to calm down, but it doesn't just stop there. That calming effect travels down that superhighway, and it actually helps relax the lungs too. It's just a perfect example of how treating one part can bring relief to the whole system.
So, after all that, what does this actually mean for you? Because this isn't just some interesting science lesson. This is a practical roadmap to a life where you can actually breathe easier. Let's talk about how you can put all this knowledge into action.
If you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. One airway means one treatment plan. It's time to stop thinking about your nose and lungs as two separate problems and start treating them like the unified system they really are. And you know what? That all starts with one single conversation with your doctor.
So if you've been fighting that battle with both your nose and your chest, it's time to change your strategy. You now have the knowledge to go in and have a really informed conversation with your specialist about United Airway Disease. This isn't just a new idea. It's your path to finally breathing freely and really living a healthier, more comfortable life.